What's going on, you guys? Okay, so today we have the unboxing and full review of the Motorola Razr Plus 2024, okay? I think it's called the Razr 50 Ultra. I think the new one is the 2025, 2025 Plus, or the 60 Ultra, I believe. I hate the way they got these names. This is the Motorola Razr Plus 2024, okay? Right there. And I got this phone right away. I'll tell you why. This phone wasn't even on my radar. I wasn't going to do a review on it. I got the Clicks keyboard for the Motorola Razr, and the 2024 is the best compatibility. I thought that the 2025 Razr had some compatibility and software issues with the Clicks keyboard, so I got the 2024 one, even though I know it's not the newest one, because I literally wanted to test the keyboard. I got another video with testing the Clicks keyboard, so I'm not going to do that too much here. But yeah, so I think that this was the best phone that was going to be compatible with the Clicks keyboard. Plus, you get the full external display. It's not cut off like the non-Plus version. So let's do the unboxing. I got this phone from Best Buy. It was about $750 new. And keep in mind, I don't even know it's a year old, but it's older. So let's take a look. Motorola, hotter than shit out here. Sweating my little coin purse off. So let's get into it. So you open them up. Here's the box. Now, what does Motorola think that they can do the same box as Apple or Samsung? What? Come on now. We got to do a better presentation than that. Motorola's still fighting for their life out there. They're not established. They're not established in the phone game. So open it. Get a little bit of nothing here. Boom, right there. Let's take this out. Okay. So a whole lot of nothing. Okay, and right here, it looks like you have a Type-C to Type-C cable, and then all your books. Okay? So there you go. I actually think this had the SIM card ejector tool, which I took out of there and used. Okay, so that's that, and then you get the phone. And that's it. That's all you get in the box. I know that's kind of standard for right now. It is still whatever. You know, I do a lot of the Chinese phones, and those still come with cases, the big block chargers, and all that. I'm like, what the hell is going on, man? This Xiaomi Global came with a charger, a cable, and it's like the best phone out. What is this? What is happening? Okay, so unbox. And there's your Motorola Razr. All right, Motorola Razr 2024. This is the Midnight Blue edition. Okay. And there's also peach fuzz, there's hot pink. So this is it, right? Let it start. Okay, so let's go through some of the specs and let's get into it. Let's get you guys out of here. We have a 6.9 inner display here. 4-inch outer display. Now, on the non-plus version, on the regular versions, that display is cut off here, okay? So you have you don't get the full display. On this, the Plus version, you get that full, beautiful display. Look at the small bezels. So the non-Plus version has a bigger bezel there. Okay, 6.9 inner, 4.0 outer. Okay, Snapdragon 8 Generation 3, we're running. I'm always screaming out here. I'm always screaming at the microphone like I'm mad at something. I gotta try just regular talking. Snapdragon 8 series, Generation 3, 4,000 milliamp hour battery. Spoiler alert, the battery on this thing, trash, garbage, sucks, trash, okay? Weight, 189 grams. So we're zeroed out, so let's give it a little weight test here. I got 188.1. They got 189 grams. Pounds, ounces, 6.64 ounces. So you guys go in your nightstand. You know how we do it on this channel. So 6 ounces. So you got the phone in your hand. Take what your last dealer gave you. I don't know if it's dense or fluffy. If you got an ounce, 28 grams to an ounce. If it's any less, then you got to give them a call and go, hey, buddy, something's not right here, okay? And so weigh that out in your hand. Times that by 6. Add 0.64, that's how heavy this phone is, okay? So, in all seriousness, it's not very heavy, but it's not very light. You're not gonna really notice it over any other phone. Like, let's see here, just for shits and giggles, since we're doing this. So 6.63 ounce on this. my Xiaomi 15 Ultra 8.1, okay? There's an old BlackBerry Priv, 6.68. So these are almost the same size here, okay? So it's lighter. It's like a lighter phone than what's coming out right now, which makes sense. It's a little flip, so that makes sense. So that's the weight. Camera, 50. Here goes some numbers, okay, which don't tell the whole story. They never do. 50 megapixel main, 50 megapixel telephoto, 32 megapixel selfie camera, okay? 12 gigabyte RAM, 512 storage. The price is $750. Used now, you guys can get this for like half price, for like $350, $400. You guys can get this. All right. So cover the display. 2 displays. So you've got your main display right here, and you've got the smaller 4-inch display here. Now, I think they changed this on the Galaxy Flip 7, but on the 6, you couldn't use all of your apps on the external display. On this, you can use every app. So what you got to do is on your external display, you go over here, and there's a little edit button up top. So you hit that, and then all your apps that you want, so you can just activate them. They're all available here. It's awesome. Guys, it's awesome. I hated when we had the that Flip 6. I was like, wait a minute. So we got a Flip and you can't use all the apps and there's a cutout for the camera. I love that there's no cutout for this. I love that the screen takes over this whole thing, and then it tells you when you go through a tutorial of this, there's a button. So like you see this is in full external display. If you don't like that it's cutting out, you can hit that, hit this little menu on the side there and hold it, and it'll fill the screen, or it'll give it the aspect ratio so you can see all of the everything you're looking at, okay? That's awesome. That's super cool. You can use almost all the apps in the external display. I love that. I love that it fills the entire screen. That never gets old. It never gets old having this full external display. All right, I love this. I hated the bezels on the 2023. I hated the cutout on the Flip 6 and 5 and all that. I love the full screen here, the full external screen. The feel of it is... So this is something I don't like. I don't know how to quite explain this if you guys aren't holding the phone, but it feels kind of thin. Like this is a 6.9-inch screen, but because of the heavy bezels here, because it's a flip phone, it's got to close, open and close. So it's got the protectionary bezels here. It feels thin. Like my workspace on this whole thing just feels a little bit thin, okay? That's my opinion. That's kind of what the feel is like to me. The size is really good. It actually feels really nice to hold it in the hand when it's folded. I love it for some reason. It feels like a little cube, and it feels super nice and comfortable. But you're not gonna do everything. You guys know how it is, especially with us millennials. You can't book important stuff on the phone, right? You got to get the laptop or the desktop computer out to do the important Airbnb trips and all that. You know what I mean? That's millennials still are on that. So same type of thing here. You guys got the small screen, but for the big boy stuff, for the we're gonna crack it open and we're gonna get it going with the big full screen. All right, that's how you're gonna do it. Biometrics, the fingerprints on the power button. Always love that. I've always loved that when they have the fingerprint on the power button. So convenient. I love it. Okay. Let's see here. Screen lock pattern. I got pattern here. You got fingerprint right here. And you got face unlock. Let's set it up here and see if it's good. So, face unlock lets you easily get into your phone just by looking at it. Since your phone knows your face, the lock screen shows notifications only when you're looking at it. Let's set it up. About face unlock. I'm sweating like a whore in church, man. It's so hot. After unlocking, go to the home screen. Yes, yes. Okay, so there's my face unlock set up, done. Let's set up the fingerprint just in case. Set up fingerprint. For some reason, I like it when it's on the power button versus the screen. I don't get the screen dirty. Oh, and this one right here, if you hit it, it says to end setup, turn off screen, and you can hit turn off. One thing I hate on these power buttons on some of these other phones, if you hit it and it's not very good at registering, it'll like shut the phone off because you're hitting the power button. I love that this thing, when you're doing the fingerprint, it has like a block for that. This actually has a lot of interesting, cool little tiny features like this. That are just made for your convenience, okay? So there's my fingerprint. So that's your biometric, pretty standard. Biometrics, pretty standard. Okay, and here's your sound, all right? I personally don't like the sound on this phone. I think it sounds grating. I think it sounds tinny. Okay, when I want to listen to something, I will actually listen to it on a different phone. I don't think this is the best listening experience. The Bluetooth will work as always on all these new phones, on all these newer phones. The Bluetooth is going to work. You're going to walk all the way across the gym. It's going to be just fine, no problems. But let's go over the sound real quick. I'm not a huge fan of this phone for sound. I've got my 15 Ultra here to compare. So let's just.
Dora knows a lot of people and a
I
lot
got Cassidy.
Full
loud. I'm still on Cassidy. You guys can call me an old head. I don't care. I don't care. This is new Cassidy. Okay, let me see here. Just for a comparison for you guys.
Dora knows a lot of.
This is my X15 Ultra Global. Also for comparison, you guys can see the size here. Look at the size difference. This thing is so long. The Motorola 2024 Plus, so long, but it is a little bit thinner, like I said. Not even by much, but a little bit.
People in a lot of hidden places.
So 15 Ultra. Okay. Motorola. Xiaomi. Motorola. So it's both quieter and the quality's less. So it's quieter and it's not as the bass, it's not as full of a sound. It's tinny. It's kind of yeah, it's a little grating, to be honest with you. And as you guys can see, the screen here on full bright on the Xiaomi is incredible. Way better than the Motorola. But then again, although, you know, I will say this is priced like a flagship phone and this is a flagship phone. So it is what it is, although the flip is still kind of a gimmick. So sound, not exactly for me, you guys. But you know what? If this is your only phone, if you're not comparing, you're not going to have any problems with it. You guys are going to be just fine. Just, you know, this paints the overall picture. This phone is not your top of the line phone. This is maybe one of the best flip phones out. It's definitely one of the best flip phones out. But if you're comparing it to an S25 Ultra, iPhone Pro Max, Xiaomi 15 Ultra, it's not going to get there, okay? But it's also a little bit cheaper, so let's keep that in mind too. Camera. All right, let's go over some of the camera options here. Notes I've got is it's not the best camera, but it is serviceable, okay? Obviously, I'm going to throw some pictures up. You got photo, portrait, pro mode. All right, and pro mode is where all your ISO, you can change all your aperture, and you got more. So here you got scan, spot color. Spot color, pick a color to highlight in your photo and turn everything else black and white. Little guy. Night vision, panorama, ultra res, dual capture. That's cool. So I can do my review video. Man, I do not look good right now. So there's dual capture, all right. That's cool. Photo booth. Prep and pose while capturing 4 separate photos in a row with 3 seconds in between. So that's photo booth. Tilt shift. Create a charming image using blur and flare effects that make your image seem miniature. Okay, kind of cool. Long exposure, group shot, time lapse, spot color, dual capture video. So pretty cool. You get a few, that's what I mean, like the dual capture video and a little bit of quality of life options that you don't really get with some of these other cameras that other companies for some reason don't think about. So it's almost like, you know, this isn't the best phone by any means, but they do have these little conveniences that kind of make it fun to use as you keep using it. So for me, and then you got slow motion, video, photo, portrait, pro, all your stuff. For me, the camera it's not the best. It's serviceable. Okay, the colors are not very vivid or bright, which you can change all that with your editing and with your slider, but we're talking about point and shoot, right? You're gonna get it out of the box, you're gonna point and shoot, okay? Right here, if you got the phone closed, you can open the camera by flipping your wrist twice like that. It's kind of cool. Simple. And then click anywhere to take a photo. That's cool. And I love how this feels in the hand when it's folded up. So the one weird thing I noticed, and we could try this together, is when I took a picture and then edit it and I add the text, it saves a copy, and the copy with the text looks different than the original pic. So I'll take a photo right here, okay? So there it is. Let me go to edit. Let's see if I'm right. Let's see if I'm bugging. So I add some text here. Done, and then you go save copy. Boom. So now I got both. I got the ones with the text and without. And when I go to the one without the text, this is my original picture I just took, right? I gotta delete this. This is trash. Right here. Here's the text I added. Hey, you guys see how it's like, you know, not washed out, but it's the picture. And then when you go over to the original, it like brightens it up a little bit. I don't know if you guys see that, but it like, you see it? Hey, here's my writing. You guys see how it brightens it up a little bit? So I don't know what that is, but when I go to, because sometimes Chelsea and I do this stupid thing where we do scrapbooks for one another for our anniversary every year. So she'll do a year and then I'll do a year. And so I'll take photos and I'll mark them up and I'll go headed to wherever. And this is just something that I just noticed. So I will, that's something to think about. I don't know what that is, but if you guys edit pictures a lot, it's something to keep in mind. So for me, this camera is just okay. I'm not going to be using this phone for the camera, but it is what it is. It's good. It's good to have. It's awesome to have this front camera with the two. I think it's awesome on these flip phones that you get the main camera as your selfie camera. Plus, you get the selfie camera here. So you guys look at here. Versus the main camera. Let's see which one looks better here. Main selfie, I look like I'm on the struggle bus. Come on. Horrible. Both horrible. Don't roast me. I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of what we're looking at, okay? All right. So that's my camera review. This phone is you're not going to get this for the camera. You're going to get this for the flip. You're going to get this for everything else, right? So the camera is serviceable. You'll be able to take pictures. And again, like with all these phones, honestly, when you're up in the $1,000 price range, if you don't have another camera comparing it to, you guys will be fine. But what I will tell you is, this isn't, if you want good pictures, if you want the top of the line pictures, this is not going to be the phone for you. All right, day to day. Here's the notes I've got. And then after this, I'm going to go over the settings too, so you guys get to see all the options and what we got here. So Moto AI, it's fine. You guys let me know how much you use I don't really use Moto AI. I don't really use the AI stuff so much. So I can personalize gestures, right? You can do all this stuff. Moto Notes, Smart Connect. Moto AI. Adjust Moto AI to better align with your needs. Launch gestures history, personalization. So that's your AI basically assistant there. Moto AI is here. All right, so you can do whatever. It's like Gemini or whoever the other one is, Siri. Horrible battery on this thing. So 4,000 milliamp hour battery, not very good and very noticeably not very good. Especially you got these two screens running. It's doing the best it can, but look, it's 12 o'clock. It's at 67. I was at 95 at 9 o'clock. So we're looking at 3 hours. It's at 67. I haven't really been using this phone all that much, and I got other phones and all that. So the battery's just not the best. That's what you're gonna have to deal with. If you guys are someone that doesn't want to think about this, like if you watch my Alcatel video, the 30,000 milliamp hour battery, this isn't going to be the phone for you. The battery's going to run out. The other day-to-day is I love the outer screen, okay? I love the outer screen on this phone and just how, so look, I can pretty much do, now that you have the full screen, the full 4 inches, you guys look down. This is the 4-inch screen because you're not here to hold it. Look down at yourself and add 2 inches, and that's what 4 inches is. So this is a 4-inch full screen, and I just love the outer screen. I love using all the apps on the outer screen, and this has actually become one of those things where you don't need to open the phone all the way, and you can get most of your stuff done here on the small screen. And so then on the day-to-day, since we're talking about the fun aspect of it, if you guys get this, which honestly, the cost at $139 for this is a lot. If you guys have this Razr and are at all interested in a keyboard, and I mean at all, this is the best alternative. Get this. At $139 though, I understand not everyone's going to want to pay for that. So there it is. Right? Right? Okay, so with this keyboard, if you guys are using it, this screen is, I mean, it's a game changer. It's so nice. It's we're like finally back, back to the BlackBerry Passport, but it actually works because now you get the top of the line specs. You don't have to do the unihertz thing with the keyboard where you don't get the Android specs you want. You get top of the line specs with a phone that's gonna run, and you also get the keyboard. Now, when you open it up, it's a different story. It's very long. There's my Xiaomi for comparison. The old BlackBerry Priv right there. Okay. This is kind of the closest I got, but then when you close it, boom. Okay. So I love even if you don't have the case on it, or if you do have the case on it still, but without it, I love the pocketability of it. It feels so nice to hold. I'm not worried about it falling out of the pocket because it sits deep in there. You know, most phones now, they stick out of your pocket so far. You're worried about falling out. I'm not worried about it. The pocketability is fantastic. The one thing I do wish is I wish there was more external display. External display wallpapers and themes. I wanted like a nice clock, but you can only you can choose a few. We'll go through them here in a second. So for work, can you guys work on this phone? Can you use this as your work phone? You guys know that I'm in sales. I use my phone for everything. So for me, this is not the best. It's just, I know it's got the Snapdragon 8 and all that, but you're gonna feel this. If you guys are phone people, especially if you're using flagship phones for your whole life and for most of the time, you're going to feel the difference in how snappy this is and how it moves around. And on here, you probably won't if I show it to you, but I'm telling you guys are gonna feel the difference. You guys will feel moving. I'm on Gmail, then I'm on messages, then I'm on phone, then I'm on Reddit, right? So you guys are gonna, Reddit's not the work-related one. So you'll feel it, and I'm not saying it lags, I'm not saying it's slow, but I'm saying you guys are gonna feel the difference from the top of the line phones, okay? Some of this is honestly on me, and I feel like I'm being kind of a hater because it's like we're reviewing all these absolute flagships, like the top of the top, and so when I step down a little bit, I feel like I'm almost nitpicking and I'm hating a little bit. But the bottom line is just, you know, it's an Android phone. It's gonna do what you need it to do. If you like the flip factor of it, this is probably gonna be, I wouldn't even say it's your best bet. It's your best price bet because right now you can pick it up used for about $400 versus paying $11.99 for the Flip 7 or $11.99, $12.99 for the Razr 2025, I believe. So really at like $400, this is not a, you know, at $750, the new that I bought it, I wouldn't do this. At $400, $350 that it's selling now, all day long to mess with it. But then if you guys want this, you got to add $139. You guys know it's like everything in this world, it starts to add up, right? So for the work, it's serviceable. I wouldn't be using this as an email crazy productivity machine, but it's serviceable. It's going to do what you need to do. It's an Android phone, okay? The other note I have is it's just, it feels kind of nice to be back in the world where everything is compatible out of the box. So I threw my SIM card in here and all your notifications work right away. All the calls come in, everything works, always on display works, everything works. Versus you guys know the Vivos and the Xiaomis, the phones we get from China, we got to tweak them to make the notifications work and all that. So it's a little bit of a breath of fresh air. It's a little nice to be back in the world of of where everything works on your phone right out of the box. And it's just so compatible with Google. Everything runs with Google. It's made for, the native apps were Google Apps, messaging, and phone. So that's one thing you guys will not have to worry about. The peace of mind is there. You're going to get your notifications. All of that is legit and locked up. So let's take some time and go through some of the settings. I'm not going to go through every single thing, but I want you guys to get a good idea of what we have here, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, so settings, Moto AI. So we got network and internet, all your standard stuff. Connected devices, here's your Bluetooth. There's my car paired, my Power Beats paired. Moto AI. So launch gestures, double press. So look, so this, it starts here. There's a lot of customizability here. Launch gestures, double press power key. You can choose what double pressing the power key does. Quick launch, press and hold. If you can double press the power key or press and hold, I've got it at the power menu. When did phones stop doing this, man? I think iPhone, you got to go into like your settings to turn the phone off. Double press. I'm going to do camera for double press there. Quick launch. You can double tap on the back, double tap on the top third of the back. Try it out. Right? So you got tap strength, gentle tap. What do you want to open? How about take screenshot? Boom, right there. So tap, approach, launch Moto AI by bringing your hand close to the external display, then pulling it away. This feature works when your phone is idle and is in tent or stand mode. Keep your external display out of direct and reflect sunlight, accurate gesture recognition. There you go. Floating bubble for Moto AI. I don't need it. All right. Actions. Customize AI actions. So you've got all these actions here. Get a quick summary of notifications. Playlist studio, image studio, personalization. Moto AI learns from your interactions, activity, and save memories to deliver tailored results. Memory, language, voice, show on lock screen. So this is your Moto AI right there, okay? Personalize. This is where you guys are going to spend most of your time. So for personalize, you've got lock screen, home screen, my photos, image studio, curated images. You guys know everything is getting curated now with AI. Right? My photos, image studio. You guys can create an image here. So golden retriever, so you can generate images, and almost every phone now has got a version of this type of deal. So there's my golden retriever. Hey, I kind of like that. I'm going to save that one. So you guys can generate there, and there's fantasy, all kinds of stuff, right? Image Studio, Style Sync. Create a wallpaper inspired by your unique style. So let's try it. Pick a photo here. Let's see. See what it does for me here. Get ready to be amazed by a stylish series of images. It's pretty quick, actually. Do you guys remember we were doing the review for the Xiaomi and it was like taking its sweet time? Okay, so it's done generating. Wow, that's amazing. Incredible, guys, incredible. So there's your image studio. Dynamic. You can download wallpapers, dynamic wallpapers here. Themes. Default. Moto. Seaway, Honey. So you've got some themes, color themes here, Merlot. Fonts. Bunch of different fonts to choose from. Colors. You can choose the color. Some of these phones, like LG used to do this a lot, where it'll match your whole screen. Samsung does, they all do it now, but so you can match your colors there. So everything on your whole theme matches. Icon shape. Whatever you guys want. Lock screen. So here's lock screen. You choose. This isn't, I would say this isn't as customizable as like the Samsung Lock Star once you unlock all like the Lock Star and stuff, but very customizable here. More than what you need. External display. So here's what I got on the lock screen. And you go to themes here. And I wanted like a different clock. You know, I love watches. So you can choose a few. Oh. Themes. And obviously you can set your own static picture. But I wanted like, because this is a theme, so this clock actually changes the time as it goes. And then your home screen, you can choose a theme or any of your own pictures there. So that's the external display, right? That's what it looks like. So while we're in here, let's go Razr tips, learn more about what you can do, what's new in Android 15, app archiving, archive apps you don't use very often. This has features that are probably available on a lot of phones deep inside the settings, but we're probably never going to use. Basics, get comfortable. So there's all the tips, right? Your manual is in there. Do everything with your Razr closed on your external display. You control media player. It's really cool getting around the external display. So here's your little tutorial about this phone, right? Basics, personalized media. So there's all your tips. Panels. So for your front screen here, you can have different panels. So like if this is the home screen, I can scroll left, I've got a stopwatch. Right, I've got all my apps. If I do it again, I've got weather. If I do it again, I got widgets. And this is my ChatGPT search box, right? So there's all my panels. And then if you want to adjust them, you can add panels or you can rearrange the ones you already have on the external screen. So there's communications, apps, games, timer, widget, calendar, Spotify, Google Stocks, right? So there you go. You can edit all that too. Super cool. Display and font size. Boom. Call settings. Flip open to answer. Hello. What do you need? I got a million on the line. Disconnect call. Ends call if you close it. Background during calls. Okay. Call settings. So then you got app settings here. AI translate, app settings, standard Android stuff here. Sleep display. Quickly peek and interact with time notifications and media player controls while your phone is asleep, uses minimal power. Always on display. I want to turn that on. Show notifications. Boom. Wake up your interactive display. A lot of options, a lot of customizability. And then desk display. So in intent or stand positions, you can display a carousel of text and pictures or a clock. To view your selections, position your phone on a flat surface to lock it. This may use additional battery power. So I have this turned off. I'll turn it on. There you go. So it displays a carousel. It rolls through different wallpapers and all that. It's fine. I don't need it. I'd rather, on this phone, honestly, I'd rather save the battery. To be honest with you guys, because the battery's so trash on this that I don't actually use it. And on the, on the folds, when you have more area, you might be able to use it as a 10. I don't know. This is a little bit small of a screen for me to use on a 10. Although it is an awesome option. Right there. Cool. All right. There you go. Hey. Music player. I do use this. You get to set your little, background for your music player. So I do use this. And then you have tape, rhythm. I use the star so that when something's playing, boom. Cool. All right, pretty nice. Pretty cool little feature, okay? So you got display size, layout, and sounds, standard, and dark mode, okay? There you go. External display, so that's your external display. We just went through all these settings. So like I said, you guys can use it in tent mode.
Thinner watch, and sometimes the movement looks nice.
Right.
And it's
So if you guys want to watch something sitting here, it's kind of nice. It's not bad, actually.
far from it. In-house.
And you don't need a second. You don't need a phone stand or a phone holder. Pretty cool. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Oh, it changed me around because I just added a bunch of stuff. So I'll change all this around here later. Okay, display. Standard stuff. Brightness level, adaptive brightness, dark theme, colors. So refresh rate here, we got smart and balanced. I wanted hyper smooth. Like I said, so I go through phones super quick. I'm probably switching phones every few weeks, maybe every month. If you guys are gonna be using this as your main phone, I would, and see, I've already got the color set to vivid and it's still not vivid enough for me compared to like these. These phones are just incredible, these Chinese phones. Display size, so I got, you might want to put efficiency first for your display refresh rate, just because I don't know how much you guys notice the actual refresh rate, and save the battery. The battery's trash on this. Full screen, auto rotate, color contrast, night light, flicker prevention. So there's a bunch of 3-finger screenshot. Boom. Home and lock screen here. You got home settings, notification, dot on icon. Pretty standard stuff. Pretty standard stuff here. Control center. Classic style or modern style, right? So standard, and then lock screen. Customized lock screen, clock faces. Sleep display, media preview. Text on lock screen, jump to lock screen, put display to sleep. So there's your home and lock screen. Sound and vibration, pretty standard. Live caption, automatically caption speech. That's pretty cool. Do not disturb, flip for D&D. Notifications. A setting I haven't had to mess around with too much, thankfully, is the Chinese phones. I got just a first and only setting, the most important setting you mess around with. So you got notifications, control, a lot of options. Control which apps, notification, read, reply, and control. That's kind of cool. Control which apps can read, devices can read notifications, flash notifications, boom. Gestures. So you got system navigation. I got 3-button, or you guys can do it like the iPhone with the gestures. Sidebar. Multitask by opening your favorite apps in freeform or full screen windows. So that's your sidebar. There's all your apps. So if you like that, you guys get that. Your little edge display is what Samsung calls it. One-handed mode. Same. I will say this phone's kind of thin enough to where I don't mind using it one-handed. Swipe to split. See apps in split screen by swiping back and forth. Now you got to choose an app. So you got an app open. Boom. Done. That's kind of cool. That's kind of neat. Let's try it. Boom. Pretty cool. Pretty neat. 3-finger screenshot. Touch the screen with 3 fingers. Power key. Thank you for letting me choose what to do with the power key. Everybody's doing assistant now. Everything's an assistant now. I don't want it to be an assistant. I want it to do the power. Then adjust sensitivity. Slide on power key I think is cool. So you've got this, you can use slide on power key. So zooming. And I've got it to zoom, right? So this works with camera. So when you guys have your camera up, oh my God, I just ruined everything. Here's your power key, and you can slide on it. See that? That's cool. That's cool, right? Pretty sweet. Slide on power key, media controls, use the volume keys to change tracks when the screen is off. And then you've got kinetic gestures. Quick launch, double tap the top third of the back. So there's your quick launch. Quick capture, twist your wrist twice quickly to open the camera anytime. Boom, like that. Fast flashlight. See what I mean? Little convenience features, little convenience options on this thing that are kind of cool. While I go, hey, Moto, you didn't make the top of the line, best flagship, fastest, baddest ass camera. You made a phone that I want to like, because it seems like you like me. It seems like you want me to have a good experience. That's what these options tell me. It seems like you want me, Motorola, to have a convenient, fun, enjoyable experience using the phone. And I can definitely appreciate that. Lift to unlock, pick up to silence, approach to silence, flip for D&D. There's your gestures. Battery, all your battery stuff, manage background apps, optimize charging, adaptive battery, blah, blah, blah. Storage. Now, here's your adaptive battery. I use adaptive battery on the Samsungs. I turn it off. It actually ends up being better. So I'm going to turn it off on this. Maybe it's a little better too. There's your storage, location, accessibility. This is all standard stuff. Accessibility, keeper fill, select to speak, display size and text. A lot of these things you can get through other menus too. So like your display size, extra dim. So this is your, if you need stuff read to you, if you're blind, deaf, all of that. There's your passwords, security and privacy, device unlock, privacy controls. Now you get more into standard settings, safety and emergency SOS, medical information, blood type and all that. If your stuff gets stolen. Do you guys actually fill this out? I never do, but I don't keep a phone for more than a month. So digital well-being for your parents there, app timers. So if you guys want to set, parental controls, it's all right there. Google, system updates, rating and feedback. We will take your feedback, please, 5. Backup or copy, system and about phone. Now, guys, remember, if you guys don't, we need the developer options. So we're going to go to About Phone. See if I can figure this out. Boom. Okay. So you're going to go to About Phone. You're going to go to Device Identifiers. You're going to keep clicking Build Number, and you're going to turn into a developer of this phone, right? So then when you go back into System, when you go back in your settings and click System, Developer Options, now you've got all our options that we like to turn off. I've said this since the first review I did. I know this probably doesn't do anything. It gives you the illusion that things are moving faster, but I like it. I like to do the animation. Off, off, and off, okay? And then all your other developer options are there too. I just shut them off accidentally. So whatever. So there's your settings, okay? So overall, let's talk about this overall, and then we're done. Overall, the Razr Plus 2024. So it looks like flip phones are obviously here to stay, all right? Right now, if you guys are buying this new, this is about $800, $750. The new one of these, the 2025, is about $1,200, and the Galaxy Z Flip 7 is also $1,200. I think it's $1,199. So what I'm gonna tell you guys, if you're buying new, a flip phone, I personally would purchase the Galaxy Z Flip 7. Now that that phone is out, that probably is the phone to get, especially if you're buying new. It's only a couple $100 difference. I'm sure you can find something that's gonna get the price closer. I would get the Samsung Z Flip 7. I got this phone because it was supposed to be the most compatible with this Clicks keyboard. I think the 2025 Motorola's, they have some kind of software glitches with the Clicks keyboard. Clicks has said that they're working with Motorola. It's got to come from the Motorola side, but they're working with Motorola to get an update going that's going to fix some of these issues. But that's why I got the 2024 version. Now, if you guys don't mind getting a phone used this thing is on eBay for $400, $350. Now all of a sudden, this is way beyond worth it. Not even it's a no-brainer. It's way beyond worth it at $350, $400. If you guys want to play in the new sandbox, if you guys want to play in the flagship sandbox, I would get the Z Flip 7 overall. So the bottom line right now, if it were me buying right now, I would buy the Z Flip 7 right? If I was buying a flip phone. But through this review, obviously, if clicks is your main reason to get the phone, I would get this 2024. Because if clicks is your main reason, I wouldn't spend that much on a phone. You're really just getting it as a vessel to use this keyboard. And this is probably right now the best vessel to use it for, and the cheapest, the most affordable one. So bottom line, at this point for a flip phone, I would get the Galaxy Z Flip 7. If you are getting the clicks keyboard, I would get this phone used at $350, $400. All right, you guys. Thank you, as always, for tuning in, and stay tuned, and we will be back with more videos. Later, guys.